Hey everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going over summer product photography, what summer product photography is, and some tips for creating some awesome photos. And if you are a brand, I am a commercial photographer based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, although I travel all the time. And yeah, so if you want a photo shoot, book me. Also leave a like and subscribe on this video if you're just a viewer. Anyways, let's get started. So you want to create some awesome photos for the summer, the rest of the summer. It's July, and yeah, there's still plenty of time to take some awesome photos. But the thing is getting them in there and making sure that you're doing that. So I'm going to give you some ideas as well for summer product photography. So what is summer product photography? A lot of summer product photography is things like things outdoors, things like activities that you can do outdoors with people, different things like that. And summer is a really amazing time to be outside with light and not be cold and not be cold. But there's the opposite side of that, is that it will get hot and warm and your camera gear will probably melt. So it's important that it's important that you prepare for that kind of stuff. But product photos, as I listed here, there are different opportunities for product photos, and working with different companies on creating some awesome content for their brands. There are two videos here that are summer photo shoot, photography related, and more photo shoot related, that go over some other tips that I'm not going to share in this video. So the first tip that I'm going to give you guys is find a product that matches the season. So don't go for products that don't match the season, like skiing things outdoors wouldn't make much sense. You don't want to do stuff like that. You want to use like the best of what you can during the summer with the summer light. So like beach gear, sunglasses. Sunglasses are really fun to work with because you can work with model, you can work with different people on that. There's also fashion that you can actually do, but that's fashion-y. Other products might be beverages, summer beverages, campaigns for summer beverages. And even if you're not getting paid by a company yet, you can take those drinks and you can do something with those drinks, and you can try submitting them to get a product in mind, or a few products, create a list of a couple different products that you want to shoot, and then let's go on the next part. So with product photos, it is very important that you get the lighting right. Products, a lot of products are very different from each other. So depending on what container they're in, if they're in like plastic, or if they're in silicone, or if they're in like some other sort like metal, all those have different properties as far as like how light emits and how it absorbs, and just a bunch of different things. But you want to make sure that your lighting is different in those situations. You don't want to have the same exact lighting for each material, because sometimes there are better options for you to photograph something in. And something simple as like adding in like a sheet of like silver or something can really change the whole, like your whole image. And right now, I mainly just use softboxes. I've always used softboxes, some type of lighting source outside of natural lighting. Of course, you can use natural lighting, and I would highly recommend using natural lighting. But there are some instances where you need to see the product in its entirety from each side. And for the most part, here I've one example here. So Prozis sent me a bunch of peanut butters, and so as you can see right now, there's a light right here on the product. Light right here on this product. You can see the highlights, and that's because this is more of like I want to say like plasticky type of container, and then the labeling is like matte. So it's important to kind of be aware of what's going to be reflective and what you want to see reflective. Sometimes in my early product photos, I realized that I had reflections on certain bottles, and I was in the reflection, and I would have to spend maybe 10 or 15 minutes editing that out in Photoshop, which isn't too long of a time, but it does add up if you have like 5 photos and you're there for 45 minutes. trying to edit out that one piece. And especially with Photoshop's new feature, it's a lot cleaner and a lot easier to do that. But just be aware of your lighting and try and get the best conditions. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. Honestly, I would love to do more videos on just lighting situations. So yeah, the next tip is use simple backgrounds. So simple backgrounds might be something just completely one color. So right now, something completely one color. So right now I have wallpaper. I just picked this up off Amazon, and it's like a purple color, but it works perfect. It's really great. The only thing that I would change is like the texture. So make sure you realize that the texture, as you can see, it's pretty shiny. So kind of understand what you want as far as texture. You can use carpets, you can use tiles, you can use wallpapers like I just did, or you can use things like outdoors, going outdoors, cityscapes, going out in nature. Nature is a really common one. Just make sure that it's nature related and things match. The next tip is use splashes of color. The next one is use splashes of color in your photos. So splashes of color is like something different, something that contrasts from the actual product. So for example, with that wallpaper, I use the purple. However, that's not really a splash of color like I'm talking about. I'm talking more of like splash of color, like maybe add 1 or 2 of these pills outside, some of the orange, or the orange on purple, just like something little that does a lot and brings your eye into focus. Okay, this is one of my favorite ones, is show your product in action. So if it's a liquid or if it's a solid, there's always some type of action that you can do with it. Action being like actually like freeze framing it, or you can actually have somebody else do an action like drink it, or play with it, or I don't know. Just show it in action, make a story out of it. Showing it in action actually helps create a story, a quick little story about it. And yeah, another tip is adding in other props to your image. So things that create the product, like, I don't know, like titanium or some like paper clips, or I don't know, like raw materials that make your product, you want to add onto like maybe the background or next to it. So you could try like wheat, flours, ingredients, flour and flour. Both of those are good examples. Other things like spices, you can add spices, you can add little like hints of spices on the side. Just anything that creates the product can really enhance the image. With another quick way to get a bunch of product photos is try and change the angle. So do one in the front, do one in the back, do one side to side, lateral, or one on the top, or even below. Literally all angles are pretty fun to work with, and you'll notice that the light changes, and depending on how you want the lighting to look, you can change that as well. And that can take a bunch of time to take photos of, but you'll get a lot out of it as well when you are shooting different angles. And don't forget to even like shoot at odd angles as well. Just realize that when you do that, you will distort the product. And yeah, usually what I like to do is try and shoot perpendicular so that the bottles don't look like skewed. Sometimes they look skewed. I'll show an example of like a really like deformed product, and you don't want something like that, because then people will look at that and then be like, oh, does it look like that? Or they might think something is wrong with it. And I've gotten that before where people criticize me. They're like, oh, that doesn't look right, or that's wrong, or you know, just be aware of that and take a note of when something is actually distorted and whether you want that to be distorted or you don't want that to be distorted. Yeah. So why is product photography important? Because first of all, it builds trust. You see the image, you know what it looks like, and you can help the audience understand what they're getting, what they're buying, or what they want. In product photography is very fast. You can also increase sales with product photography. This is probably my favorite part, is when somebody looks at an image and they're like, oh yes, I have to have that, or that's amazing, I want to see it in person, I want to use it. Something like that where people just like want, you make it so like aesthetically pleasing that people want to get it. With product photography, you can also inspire people and attract a lot of people to your page, and kind of just start something new. Start something new that you created, and yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you everybody who has been following me along on YouTube. This is the end of the video, and I want to thank everybody for watching the video. If there's a spot in there, I know I said a lot during the video, so if there's a spot you want to know more about, go check out the article down below. There's a lot more information on there and links to other links, and then there's a bunch of other YouTube videos that you guys can check out on product photography, summer photo shoot stuff, and there is going to be there's going to be more videos on summer photo shoots. The next one is probably going to be a beach photo shoot. Tips and tricks and everything, all good. So subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.